Hey guys, it's Jesus and Miranda,
Hey everyone!
and thanks for tuning in to the Mimi and Louisa show.
Today we're going to have our very first special guest, Taylor, and she's going to share a little bit about her prison experience and some stories.
Hey guys.
So let's jump right in, guys.
So, my first question for you, Taylor, is what was it like when you first got sentenced? Like, how long did you get sentenced for? And what did it feel like knowing that this was like real life and that you were leaving to go to prison and leaving your family and friends? And was it scary? What were you feeling?
Okay, so first of all, it was in the COVID era. So I'm on a Zoom call for fucking court. And I had signed a plea deal and they had promised all this stuff they didn't come through with on it. So uh I was hearing all this, what I thought was gonna be initially in my plea deal and all this stuff, and all of that was going away. They were gonna make me a violent offender. And the judge said I wasn't remorseful for anything and all this stuff, right? And I'm watching this on a fucking phone. It's the worst thing ever, dude, when you're watching this on a phone. And my mom's sitting in the background too, and she's just like, I find you guilty. You signed the plea, so 3 years. They initially said 3 years, so I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna have to go to prison for 3 years. And like, I thought I was gonna shit my pants. I'm not gonna lie, I thought I was gonna shit my pants. And then hearing my mom in the background start crying, I was devastated. I was devastated. And then like after I heard 3 years, like I really don't remember much after that. And then it was just like in 2 days I had to report to the jail in the county I'm at, you know what I mean, to get transported to prison later. But like I was devastated. And like I said, initially I thought it was going to be 3 years, having to do 3 years of time away from my family, um just away from the life I've always known. Like it was rough. And then again, doing it on a phone, it's just it's a surreal moment when you find out, you're gonna lose
Yeah.
it.
Well, and I didn't even think about it being in all the COVID stuff too. I totally forgot about that. Um, on your first day in prison, was it like a dream? Like, what was it like when you got there? Was it super scary?
um it's unreal. Like it just still doesn't hit, because like I got there, the prison's overpopulated for one, so I'm stuck in booking all by myself in this tiny little cell, nothing to do for 24/7. And I was up in this cell by myself for 2 weeks, so you have to be quarantined when you get in there again because COVID. And it's just, I mean, I thought I was going to lose my mind, and I'm just sitting there like this is real. Like I'm going to be in a cell like this for fucking forever. That's what it feels like. And it's lonely, it's boring, it stinks, people treat you like trash in there. Like, and then that's just the beginning, you know what I mean? I already knew, like, from when I first got there, I was like, this is gonna suck, this is gonna suck. But also too, going back to that, I was in jail only for a day, because you go to your county jail first, right? And jail was great because I knew people from my county there, so it was like I knew people. And then getting transported to prison, you don't know anybody. In prison, you're in there with people who are in there for life that don't give two shits about anything. You're in there, with kids, older lady. It's just, it's all a mind fuck. It's just, it's
Yeah.
it's a lot to take in initially, a lot. Well, and then like, me and you like Wentworth and shit like that. So like I'm thinking there's gonna be drugs, there's gonna be people killing each other. You know what I mean? Like, am I going to get shanked? Like, and I'm not even trying to be stupid, but like TV, I think, projects this thing already too, and that's what I've watched. I've never been to prison before. And I mean, I've been to jail, but like for a day, for some stupid shit, nothing like this, So like, I'm thinking in my head, like, bro, you better get your shit together. You better be tough. You're going to be top dog. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it sounds stupid, but that's what you go in there thinking, because the TV shows we grew up on, you know what I mean? I'm just like, okay, this is hardcore. I got to be hardcore.
Well, and that's what I was thinking is okay, are Wentworth and Orange is the New Black and like that kind of thing, those are fake. Like that kind of stuff doesn't happen in there. It's totally different.
Yeah, well, those are minimum security facilities. When you initially go in New Mexico, they send you to maximum security, and you're in a place called RDC, right? And they use it to classify you. So like, based on your crime, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But I went out of there really quick to Springer, which is a low, facility place. And we had like bunks and stuff like that. That kind of was like Orange is the New Black. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the maximum security place, nay, nay, honey. It's legit.
That place is hardcore.
That place is
How was the sleeping situation there?
awful. So there's people in prison who shouldn't be in prison. You have these mentally unstable women, right? So on top of sleeping on a slab and they give you a pad that's maybe an inch thick, you listen to people scream all night or sing, the weekend songs, hours upon hours, dude, at night, because these women are fucking out of their mind or they've done drugs in there too. It's so loud, and you're in these big rooms, and it just echoes, and you have a CO who comes, knocks on the door, every 2 hours to make sure you're alive, blah blah blah. Sleep in there it's not sleep. You sleep with one eye open, for real. You really do.
So I know in like TV shows and all this stuff, you see these cells that have like toilets in the cell. Is that real life?
Yes, that's real life. At the minimum security, no. We were in these pods with like 30 girls, right? And you're on bunk beds, and there's like a general bathroom area. There's like 4 toilets, and you have the showers, which was great. But when I went back to maximum security, yes, you're by yourself in your cell, and you have a shitter because there's lockdown the time, because people get in fights or they think drugs are coming in, whatever. But yeah, like, yes, at the maximum security, yes, it's usually one person per cell, and there's a toilet in there and a sink, not a shower or anything, and you have your bed, whatever, blah blah blah. But like during lockdown, like sometimes they let you out for a shower and sometimes they don't either too. But yes, there's a shitter in your room, because
Okay.
maximum security is no joke.
See, and I was thinking that there was always more than one person to a cell, so that's kind of where my question was leading. Like, what happens when you're sick? Like, you have explosive diarrhea, you're just, yo, what's up, Bethany? And you're just shitting right there, like
But
right in front of her?
there is one housing unit at the maximum security where it's 2 to a fucking cell, but it's still that main bathroom. There's like a 4-person bathroom, but it's still disgusting. Even when I was at Springer, right, in the bathroom, I don't know how many times I found dirty pads on the floor, shit on the floor, and like people shit on the floor. Even when they go to clean it up themselves, they'll smear it across the whole thing, dude. I've never held my piss and shit so much in my life, because it's just disgusting. And I'd get bleach from the getting place, because you're not allowed bleach, but I would get bleach, dude. Every time I'd go into the bathroom, just spray that fucking whole stall, just bleach, bro. Ugh, God.
Oh, that is so gross.
And I mean, they move you around a lot too. So like, even like at the minimum security, you get moved with all these different people. You get used to people, and they don't like that. You know what I mean? So then you'll like get used to this group or something like that, and then you get moved to a group that's nasty, or like you get moved to a different pod, like back in the maximum security, and you go to a toilet that has green stuff growing out of it, and it's not like prison staff cleans it. You have to clean it. It's just, even if you have your own shitter, it's nasty. It's just
Ugh,
nasty.
I couldn't
You
imagine.
you make a pad toilet seat with your pads you get, and you make a toilet seat. That's all I gotta say.
Um, do they give you like free pads and tampons in a women's prison, or do you have to purchase that stuff?
Okay, so once a month at least, they're supposed to give you pads, right? They don't distribute tampons for free, but they will give you pads. So I mean, as far as that goes, they're not bad there. You know what I mean? Because what, you're gonna need it once a month anyways. They do charge you if you want to get tampons, but they're pretty generous on that aspect, like for your womanly needs.
Okay,
Uh,
that's good.
and how was the money? The money, like, how did you get money in
You
prison or jail?
New Mexico's the worst state for this. Feds and like other states, you can do money online to their account and all that stuff, easy, quick, and you can get money to inmates quick. In New Mexico, you have to be on somebody's visitor form, then they check the money orders, and I mean, it takes a long time sometimes to get money. And there was times I didn't even get money because my mom would like use a cover sheet or something to hide a money order in mail, because people jack the mail all the time. And it's a very archaic system in New Mexico. It's hard to get money sometimes. It's really hard. And then my mom, I mean, she works at the lab, and it took them almost a month and a half to approve her on my visiting list. So, I mean, I was in prison almost 3 months before I could even get money from the outside to get anything. And I mean, they have their food, whatever, but you need money, dude. You do need money in there,
Yeah.
especially sweats. Otherwise, you're going to be stuck in a uniform all the time.
So you have to buy your own clothes.
Yeah, like sweat, and they only give you like gray sweats and like socks and shit, and like panties they give you or the socks or like any type of undergarments like the sports bras and stuff, I mean, they're made with the slimmest of fucking material, dude. Like it barely holds your titties up, especially if you're over a B cup, dude. So like you do need it. And then nobody's gonna want to sleep in their reds or, well, that's the uniforms, their khakis or like a really thick dickies, you know what I mean? And you're not gonna want to sleep in that. So you do have to buy sweatpants or a sweatshirt or, you know, shorts and a t-shirt. But you need money for that.
Did you use your commissary money to like buy like high quality snacks and trade them like they do in movies?
Yes. Yes, I did. This girl, I got a new pair of shorts, but I got shorts. You got 2 canisters of coffee. I was like, sure do. Here, take coffee, give me them shorts. You know, yeah, commissary is money in there. Yes.
What about like cigarettes and stuff like that?
At the maximum security place, I would do outside duty where you got to clean outside the grounds a little bit. You can only do that when you're a certain level, right? But there'd be a vodka jar, right? And I'd pretend to be weed whacking or sweeping or something. Best believe I quick put my hand in that vodka jar. You want to talk about money too? Cigarettes in jail or in prison, fucking that'll get you anything. But you have to smoke vodkas from the guards, dude.
Oh my gosh.
The tea packets we get, they let it dry out forever and they smoke that shit too. Anything to have a cigarette, dude. Gold.
Out of all the snacks and stuff in commissary, what was like the best snack that you could get? Like what was everyone's to go type of deal?
As cliche as this sounds, prison ramen hits different, dude. Prison ramen, just like because you just the shit you add in there, bro. I mean, ooh, it's like a delicacy. But it's ramen and like some weird mayo you get or some pickle you buy, bro, or some hot Cheetos thrown in that shit. I've never. Plus, when you're already having shitty food, you know what I mean? Of course, that shit's delicious. I still make prison ramen now on the outside. It's just, ooh, man. Something about ramen noodles for some reason.
That's funny.
And like when you got to prison, did like I know for like when you see in the movies, like for the guys, like they make them cut their hair and stuff. How is it like the girl process? Do they like make you cut your hair, or they just give you like hair ties to be like, here you go?
Oh no, they don't give you hair ties. Those are you got to buy.
They don't even give you that?
No, if you come in it with hair ties too, they usually take them away. If you have like box braids or extensions, they will make you take them out. Yeah, if you try and come in there with a ponytail, like, and you have that holder or anything, they don't make you cut your hair or nothing. They do make you take this intense shower just in case you have like lice and all that shit like that, but they're not big like men with the hair deal. Just that they won't, I mean, pretty much what you go in with, if it's not what's on their like standard stuff or something, they want to make you buy it. You know what I mean? They make so much money off that type of stuff. So, I mean, they strip you of everything. So,
Do they let you even keep like your bra and underwear that you have, or like they take that too?
No. See, for a while there, like if you had white shoes, they would let you keep them. But so many people sneak shit in. Like, I mean, it's rare they let you keep something of your own. You know what I mean? It's rare.
That's wild.
Mm-hmm.
And I know this was more Jesus wanted to ask this question, but I'm gonna go ahead and throw it out there. As far as like, I know you mentioned at the beginning, you know, you went in like, oh my God, I'm gonna get shanked, like all this stuff. Like, does that kind of stuff happen? Like, do you have to have a weapon? Do you have to be ready to defend yourself or from getting stabbed? What's it like?
I've never been shanked. I got sliced with a razor blade out of a like shaving razor. You know what I mean? Yeah. You guys want to see it? There you go.
Oh my
They can't.
gosh.
This bitch sliced me because I didn't want to fuck her.
What?
That's essentially what it was, and it was deep, dude. And then, even if you get in a fight in there or something like that happens to you, like I would have gotten in trouble still too. And this was when I was at the minimum security, so I didn't want to get in trouble. They take away everything from you. You know what I mean? So I had to like burn some sugar in the microwave to close up this huge gash, right? So I've never been shanked, but I got sliced. It was legit, yeah. But the women, I don't know, women aren't bad like that. And when I was at the maximum security, you have the men's facility and the women's facility. The men stabbed a guard when I was there, but you won't see women doing that. They just, plus women don't stick together. Meh. Women aren't We're violent, but not as violent.
So there isn't like a gang situation there, like on the man side.
Girls try to pretend they're in gangs, but they're not about that life for real. You know what I mean? And it hurts me to say this, but women turn on each other so quick. They'll be over there like, oh, my blood this, my blood that. And then like 2 weeks from then, they ain't bloods anymore, dude. They're not bloods. They're so far apart from each other, ready to kill each other too. You know what I mean? Like, no. Women don't, no. The gang situation, no.
It's not as real as TV
No,
makes
like,
it seem.
no. And like, well, I mean, I guess not in our state, you know what I mean? And that's also a state prison, but like girls will have their tags and shit like that, and like they pay attention to that, but it's not like they gang bang in prison together. No.
Okay. That's interesting. See, we totally thought it was the opposite when we were thinking of, oh, what are we gonna ask her about? This is gonna be juicy. We thought you were gonna be like, oh yeah, New Mexico, like 505. They were in it. Total opposite.
No, and it's not even like a race thing, nothing like that. You know what I mean? Like, and I thought it might
Okay.
be like that too, you know what I mean? But it's not. Everybody just mingles together. You know, if you have the same interests, or like I said, you have some people who are there for life, or you know, some people who are Bible thumpers, whatever. Like, you just have certain people who stick together who have that same mentality, I guess. It's not really a gang thing or a race thing. It's just, you know.
And then, so we didn't really touch much like on your story or whatever, but we know just from knowing you, like your main reason for being there was, you know, taking the blame for someone else. If you had to go back and like say you were sober during the situation, would you have done the same thing, or would you change your mind?
If I had been sober, I never would have gotten in that relationship for one. But you know, I don't. Drugs really clouded my judgment on that one. Bad, really bad. And being lonely too, you know what I mean? I jumped into this relationship with somebody just because I'd been single for 2 years, clean for 2 years, doing really well, but I hadn't been in a relationship, you know, and I jumped in with, you know, looking back at it now, just it's very regrettable, you know, but my own actions led to that, you know, so, you know, and in prison, you have a lot of time to think about that. So like, I've come to terms with it, my bad decisions and using drugs, you know, it was going to happen somehow. Just unfortunately, it had to be like that. And that really sucks.
And what about relationships in jail? Like, is it hella easy to get a girlfriend? Like, I mean, I would assume like you get a girlfriend and all of a sudden the bitch next is jealous, and then all of a sudden you got two other people are like, oh, she's with that girl now. Like, we gotta do something. Like, what's it like?
Yeah. As a 5'11" light-skinned Hispanic, it wasn't really hard for me to find a woman interested, you know. I had a girl 2 days in, but on some real shit, yeah, girls be crazy over in there. I met a girl when I got moved back to the fucking maximum security facility, right? And I was in quarantine. She was on the other side of the door. A lot of relationships are between a door, you know what I mean? And she was in disciplinary, and we were chatting it up, writing and stuff like that. I got out of quarantine, got moved to a pod, found another girl I liked, didn't really break up with that girl. That girl told the whole prison what a piece of shit I was. Slip me to medical. Okay, so slip into medical, you can, if you have somebody's number and their name, you can put in a medical slip or a kite to, you know, go see the nurse or something. So she slipped me, and that means you're gonna fight, right? So we ended up in medical, and you know, I was like, look, I disrespected you, I cheated on you, and I didn't really break up with you, whatever. She started swinging, I started swinging, threw her down to the ground. I broke this girl's ankle, guys. Broke this girl's ankle over a 2-day relationship through a door. A door. A door. This bitch has a fucking 13-inch scar and a metal plate in her ankle, all over a prison relationship through a door. That's how real it gets. That's how real it gets.
Did
And this
that girl
bitch,
ever talk to you again?
yeah, she got moved into our pod maybe about 2 weeks later, pushing herself around in a wheelchair. She's like, I need to talk to you. I still want you in my life.
Oh my god.
This bitch,
She's like, yes, baby, hit me harder. No, I just
she's like, look, I still, look, you fucked up, but I like you, Taylor. You're great. I'm like, what? And she was the first to hit me up when I got out too, y'all.
I know you broke my ankle, but I love you.
Out round in a wheelchair, but you fire. Like, when I talk about my ego going up, like, shut. I was like, damn, I broke this girl's leg and she's still in love with me. That sometimes that's all you have though, is a relationship in there, you know. Baby daddies or boyfriends don't hold it down like women do for men in prison, you know what I mean? Like these guys will skip out quick on girls. So like relationships just get really intense sometimes in there, you know. You have people who don't have family or stuff either, or you know. And then like I said, I'm a 5'11" light-skinned Hispanic.
Oh my gosh, she's not gonna stop with it. She's not.
So like getting on that, you know, like skin Hispanic, like how does the sex work in there if it's like not you're like with a lot of people and shit like that. Like when you get that like, hey, you know, let's go
So
around the corner.
at the
Sorry.
minimum security, no, that's so true, dude. Because so like if you don't live in the same pod, when I was at the minimum security, there's like some cuts, we call them cuts, where like the cameras don't hit, right? So you'd be like in a little walkway to another pod. But if you live in the same pod at minimum security, you could go into the showers or whatever, you know what I mean? But there's cameras like in the pods. At maximum security, dude, they don't pay enough attention. Like you could go into your girlfriend's room or something, or a person's room, and just, you know, bang in there.
Is there like how is prison as far as STDs go? Like when people come in, is it all over the place in there or?
Well, no, when you initially come in, they do like blood work, all kinds of crazy shit. So if you have something, they get on it right away. But there are some people who come in there, like there's a girl that was in there when I was in there who's like on stage 4 of like syphilis. Like there's no curing it. She let it go so far, you know what I mean? So they kept her like medically kept away from everybody, like isolated or whatever. But like it's hard to get something in there. But there was a time when somebody somehow snuck a dildo in there and multiple girls used it, right? And they thought if you just cleaned it off with the germicide they gave us in prison, it would clean it. No. So a bunch of girls got gonorrhea from this dildo that made its way around. So I mean, it does happen, but they're pretty on it when you initially get in there to catch things. You know what I mean? But yeah.
I like how she told that story like it was totally normal and then just was gonna move past it.
Well, when you go through a body scanner, like, how is there a fucking dildo in prison? Because I mean, people make their own, right? But this was a full, real dildo.
Wait, how do they make their own?
Oh, Miranda. So
what? You shouldn't have said it.
So the most common way, you get like some plastic spoons, or if you have some colored pencils, if you know you have money or whatever, and then you wrap it with an ace bandage, tight as fuck. And then somehow you have to come up with a rubber glove, and that's all they do. And they wrap the rubber glove like through one of the fingers. You just shove that fucking ace bandage through there. Boom, dildo.
Oh my god. I feel like Jesus and I might be traumatized. I'm not sure if I'm regretting it or not.
On another level, I had this really illicit book, right? And it had sex stories in it. And we got shaken down one time, and the cops were looking at me like, how the fuck you get this book in? And I was like, I don't know, you tell me. You guys should be on top of the porn book get in here, you know what I mean? They're like, what are you using this for, Ely? And I was like, what do you think? Like,
she was like, don't judge my fantasies.
Yeah. I was like, you're the ones that let this book in here.
Speaking of like the guards and stuff, do they like bring stuff in for people, or is it like something we don't talk about?
Honey, there was about 8 months ago, it's on KRQE News, you'll find it. Smith, it was an officer named Smith. He was bringing in cigarettes, McDonald's, all kinds of shit for this girl, and was getting blowjobs in return. So I mean,
my brother.
Yeah, you should see this guy though. Yeah, he looks cool. But most of the time, no, the guards
they're pretty good.
Like, I want to go back to this that I didn't talk to you guys about with the sex thing. So having sex in prison, though, if you get busted, it's an offense. Like it's a bad thing. So if you get busted having sex, there's a thing called PREA. It's the Prison Rape Elimination Act. So even if it's 2 consensual adults having sex, if you get busted by a CO, you can get written up for a PREA, which is part of that Prison Rape Elimination Act, right? So many PREAs, you have to apply as a sex offender. So just because you got busted having sex a few times in prison, if you got busted, it's really detrimental to you when you get out. So Like, it is a very sneaky thing you have to do if you are having sex in there. It's not like you can just go in there, and it's not like people are hooking up on the regular and a seal will walk by and let you do it. No, you get in trouble, big trouble for it. You could lose good time, getting commissary or being able to buy like clothes and all that stuff. Like, it's not, sex is like it's a very hidden thing in there. Like, you're not supposed to be having sex. So I just want to elaborate on that when I didn't.
What exactly is good time?
Good time. So it's used toward the times you're already serving, right? So at 85%, I'd get 4 days to my month. So I'd get a month and 4 days for each month I did, right? Which is nothing. So then you have people who do like who get like half their time. So let's say they get 6 years. So they have to do 6 years in prison, right? So 3 years go by, and if they haven't gotten in any trouble or nothing, they can get out because it's half and half. So every month they'd get another month off that. So if you get in fights or you get cut for Prius and shit like that, you lose that good time. So say you lose all your good time, you got to do that full 6 years. But somebody like me who did 85%, I was going to get 2 months off without getting in trouble. That's nothing. I had to do 18 months, I would do 16. But if you have somebody who's at halftime, which is called 50% or like 65, they get really good time off. So a whole month you get a month of good time already towards your sentence. So it's like you did 2 months with 1 month. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. So good time is a big deal, especially if you have a short sentence. It's a really big deal. I don't think people realize too where good time comes in. So let's say you murder somebody and people think, oh my God, they got 20 years. They'll do 10 if they don't get in trouble and do everything they're supposed to. You only do about 10 years.
Did you know when you were in there, did you meet a lot of murderers?
Oh yeah, I was in there with a lady who killed her neighbor and chopped him up and put him in meatballs and fed him to the rest of the neighborhood.
Oh, what a savage.
She crochets. Sweetest old lady, dude. But did that. Yeah.
She snapped on him.
Ground him up and put him in meatballs she served to other people.
What
I
the hell?
Was high case people too, like the Victoria Martin's case. In there with a couple of them, yeah. So
dang.
Yeah.
That's scary.
Who used to be politicians I didn't even know about, like it was probably before we were born, that did some crazy shit that are in there as old ladies, you know what I mean? But yeah, been in there with people who've murdered people. That's what I'm saying. Like I had 18 months and you're in there with people who've 8 people.
Yeah, that's literally insane. Well, I don't know why we're laughing.
But
I
know you guys have seen the Toy Box Killer. His girlfriend, she got out right before I got in there. I mean, like the baby Brianna lady had just left. The mom, she had just left before I got there. And I don't know. There's some interesting characters. Interesting.
Yeah, that's wild. That is just crazy that you've even been there.
Yeah, but well, mingle too, Miranda. Like you can live in there with somebody. You could be in there for a small trafficking charge, and you're in there with somebody who shot a girl in the head at a Walgreens. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like that shit's crazy to me.
That is crazy. That is. And then as far as drugs go in there, is it just like out here? Like, is everyone just using drugs and doing stuff for drugs? And are there people detoxing when they first get there? Like, did you have to detox when you got there, or?
So, I'll start with me initially. I had already was trying to get clean and was on Suboxone when I got there, but I saw it a kick off Suboxone when I got there because they don't do it in New Mexico prison. Some prisons in jail, will help you through the detox thing, give people methadone, stuff like that. No, it was a heavy kick, and I didn't sleep for like a week because Suboxone, even though a prescription drug, it was rough. And then you have girls coming in there, and nowadays too with the fentanyl thing. I mean, these girls, they don't give them sheets and stuff, and they have to be like put on one-on-one, which is like, you're probably going to kill yourself because these people are going through such heavy withdrawals. You know what I mean? So you have these girls you throw in there who have to detox like this, don't address their, addiction situation. So as soon as drugs do hit in there, it's wildfire. And women's, I don't know what it is. I don't know if they're stingy or they're too scared. It's not, men's prison get way more drugs in. That's just fact. But like when it does hit, I mean, you have girls selling their whole canteen, all their clothes, anything to get anything, even if it's Suboxone, dude. And it at the maximum, it was a lot more heavier than at the minimum. At the minimum, they were on it, dude. They dry sell you and have you for 2 weeks until you gave that shit up, or they would just keep you back there by yourself so you couldn't distribute it. You know what I mean? But when I was at the minimum security, they brought it through the church. The chaplain didn't know, and they got a package through the church, dude, and it fucking spread, bro. But like at the maximum, it's usually where a bunch of people come in because they're being classified, like I told you, through that RDC thing. So you have these girls who are falling in who've stuffed God knows what, and it hits quick, but it's gone quick because everybody's on that. You know what I mean? That's when you see your wannabe top dogs too.
Ah, that would make sense.
But I mean, they're so dumb in there, dude. Like you can tell when something hits because somebody who's had next to nothing or maybe a decent amount of stuff all of a sudden has a fucking mattress that's like a normal mattress on the outside. They got 3 pairs of shoes. They got all the food in the world. Like, it's not rocket science.
I thought you said you didn't have family.
Yeah, are you don't have money? Where'd you get those nice new Nikes? You've had a commissary meal 3 times a day for the past week. How fucking weird. I haven't seen you at the canteen.
Speaking of meals, like what did you guys eat like regularly, and what were the feeding? I was about to say feeding schedules. I just don't know what else to call it, but like
No, I mean they tell you when to eat. So breakfast is usually at 7 o'clock, right? It's disgusting. I worked in the kitchen for a while. A lot of the boxes we'd get in there would say not for human consumption. But we'd make boiled eggs in the morning. Sometimes we could make cinnamon rolls, which was like all of a sudden the whole prison came to eat because the cinnamon rolls were fire. But lunch and dinner. Have you ever seen a beaver tail?
An actual beaver's tail?
Yes. Yes,
No.
darling.
You pervert.
No.
Well, no, I thought it was like a plant. I didn't know.
No, an actual beaver tail, dude. We would get this meat that looks like a fucking beaver tail. And we had it at least 3 times a week. And sometimes they would call it meatloaf, or sometimes they would call it Salisbury steak. I mean,
the worst.
I wouldn't feed that to my worst enemy, dude. And you want to talk about having the shits after that, or possibly throwing up maybe 20 minutes later? Yeah.
So do they force you to go to the cafeteria when it's time to eat, or can you choose not to go?
No, you can choose not to go because like you can have commissary or whatever, so they don't like force you to. But like, I mean, they're strict on exactly what they serve you too. It's not like you can go up for seconds or any of that type of stuff. You know what I mean? But like, the food is disgusting, Miranda. It's fucking disgusting. When I got out and I had a quarter pounder for the first time in forever, like I felt alive again. That food is so bad. Like I had commissary after that. I wouldn't go unless it was like a cinnamon roll or maybe pizza, because the pizza's not that bad. But even after working in the kitchen, after I worked in the kitchen, it was so much harder for me to go to meals. So much harder. And at the maximum security I worked at, they had to close down the kitchen for a while because of a rat infestation, dude.
Oh my gosh.
And I was in there with a girl who worked there before they closed the kitchen, and she said they'd come in there in the morning and turn on the lights, and you could see all the rats scurry away. And they were feeding people. Prison food is like our lunch meals that we got in elementary, times a million times worse.
Oh my gosh.
Oh God. It's so bad. And then on our packages, though, you could get some similar food, like we could get hot Cheetos or like, you know, like some similar items from the outside, dude. I would stock up on those because I was just like, that's still better than what they feed us in there, dude. I think if they did a thing where they had the general public just try one meal that the prison has to, people would trip, dude. They think we have 3 hot meals in a cot, you know, a place to sleep. No, dude, we have some slop to eat that you might be able to stomach to get down. You know, like it's not like that at all.
You said you were in 2 facilities, so does that mean you were both in prison and jail?
No, I went to jail right away, and I was only there a day. When I first got to the maximum security, they classified me that I could go to minimum security because you have a point system. So I had 5 points. So I'm a low security risk. So I went there, but then I did something stupid and got put on a one-on-one, and so they sent me back to maximum security. And that's why I was at 2 facilities. But I like the maximum security better than the minimum. At the minimum, the cops there think they're working maximum, so they're a lot fucking ruder and just treat you like shit. At the maximum one, they were a lot more chillax and just like whatever, you know. So, but at the minimum one, I got to play sports and stuff. At the maximum, they don't have that type of shit. Like at the minimum security, I played softball, I played volleyball, basketball, flag football. Like they had us doing stuff, you know what I mean, to stay active. There's a school, I worked in the fucking greenhouse there, but just because one stupid little thing I did, you know, I got sent back to the other one. But you learn to adjust to each one. You have to, you know what I mean? You have to. But that's why I was at 2 facilities.
And as far as the showering situation goes, do they give everyone like soap and stuff and shampoo, or do you have to buy that?
No. So when you initially get there, they give you, you know, some shampoo. They don't give you conditioner. They give you a bar of soap. And I mean, the shampoo is probably about 3 fluid ounces. It's not very big. So I mean, you do have to buy your own hygiene, otherwise you're fucked. And at the minimum security, they'd be a little more lenient and try and help you out if they knew you had a situation, right? Because they know there's some people that really can't get help. And the money you make from the jobs we do in there, I mean, you make 20 cents an hour and you have shampoo and conditioner that's $5 or more. You know, there's no way you're going to be able to afford that. So you do have a little more help if you're like, what is it? What do they call it? Indigent? They call it indigent if like you can't afford stuff. But like if you can and they know you can, like you're fucked if you can't buy your own hygiene. So you do need some outside help. And if they consider you to have like a decent enough job there, which is like 50 cents an hour or more, they figure you can, you know, buy your own shit. And it's hard because commissary is expensive in there, especially hygiene. You have stuff out here that's like $1, like Suave, that's $1 at the dollar store. It's like $6 and $7 in there. It's nuts.
And I have one
Yeah.
final question for you,
It's
Taylor.
fucking nuts.
It's what do you think that prison taught you?
Not to ever go back. um shit, that's a deep question. I thought life was hard out here. It's not. Life's really hard in there. It's a whole other world being around people like that with different beliefs than what I'm normally used to, you know, like violent or, you know, there's girls in there sitting with a 10-year sentence and the first thing they think about when they get out is getting high or doing the same shit again. Dude, I was only in there 18 months and I'll die before I go back. I won't ever go back. You know what I mean? So it's hard to be around people who are just like, this is a fucking thing, a life they're used to. I could never get used to that. So the prison taught me, like, you know, I can do life out here and do it sober and do it better than I was. I really can.
That's good. I'm proud of you. Well, thank you, Taylor, for coming on our show. We had a lot of fun.
Thank you guys for having me.
This is the Mimi and Weezus show.
And we out.
Yeehaw, brother.